Welcome back to the channel and part 2 of my storage cabinet build. This is how we left it last time with a fresh coat of paint, and today we're going to install the coverings and install the unit into the camper van itself. I'm going to start by the carpet. This will be going on the sides and the underneath just to match the rest of the theme in my camper van. I use heat temperature adhesive. It just stops anything coming away, because if it's in the van it does get hot in there in the summer, and it just refrains it from coming away from the surfaces. I coat both surfaces in the adhesive. I give it a few minutes to go off and then bond them together. I either use a roller or a flat scraper just to get all the air bubbles out and to make it nice and smooth. This 4-way stretch carpet is really easy to manipulate around the bends and the corners, and it's really easy to trim off afterwards as well. It leaves a really good professional finish. On the top I just put a couple of staples in just to hold it in place while the glue is sticking, and at the back I just fold over the corners. This is all hidden once it's installed in the van anyway, up against the wall. Okay, so now the carpet's done on the front, I'm going to use the same vinyl flooring as I use on the floor and on my other units in my camper van. I stick this on with either impact adhesive or contact adhesive. Just give it a good spread, let it go off both surfaces and then stick them together. You've only got one chance at this, so it's got to be right. And then I just put a few bits of tape just to keep it in place and stop it from slipping, and then again give it a good roll just to get any air bubbles out and make it nice and flat. It's really easy to trim with a utility knife, and then I just leave it to set for a few hours. After it's set, I remove the adhesive and then cut out the doors. Finish off trimming the edges with a file or some sandpaper to make it nice and smooth, and then I do give it a little cut of paint on the edges just to tidy everything up. Okay, so that's all the door faces done. Now on the inside of the unit, I'm just going to cut a bit of black vinyl I've had, rubber face vinyl, just to protect the base of the unit, just in case I spill anything on it. It's just easy to wipe clean. This has just had a bit of vinyl I had over from a previous project. Again, I'm using the heat adhesive just to stick it in place and stop the ends from curling up. Okay, that's that all finished. Now it's the aluminium trims. I've used a bit of 20mm by 20mm angle aluminium. I just miter each edge so it looks nice and neat. I cut this with a hacksaw and then I finish it off with a file. I'm sticking it on this time rather than using screws because it just leaves a better finish. I use this adhesive. It can stick metal, wood, plastics, everything, and it gives it a really good bond. While it's gluing, again, I just use a bit of tape. I use a bit of duct tape, that just stops it from slipping. And then give it a few hours for that to go off, making sure the miters are nice and tight. Okay, next I'm going to install some brackets so I can fix it to the van itself. I'm using tech screws. They're self-drilling and it makes it easier when installing the unit. Okay, so next is the hinges. I was going to use piano hinges, but I couldn't get hold of those at the time, so I'm just using some flush hinges. Just make sure the grain matches the rest of the vinyl, and then install the hinges. You don't have to recess these ones. These are just flush hinges. You just mark them out, pilot drill, and then screw them straight to the ply. Okay, next is the handles. I'm gonna use a piece of masking tape because it's easy to write on than it is on the vinyl, and then I can use that same piece of masking tape to do the other handle, and then I know the holes are exactly the same. Saves marking them out twice. Okay, so now I've rested it on a few bits of wood just to trial fit it in place to make sure it fits okay. As you can see, a bit of trim is stopping it from going flat up against the ceiling, so I'm going to remove this piece of trim, cut it off, and then reinstall it. It just unscrews from the metalwork of the van itself, and I'm just going to mark a bit of tape so I know the exact position to cut it off. I'm using a jigsaw, just give it a little sandal file at the ends and then reinstate it. And as you can see, the unit goes flush to the ceiling now and it looks nice and neat. These are the brackets that I'll be installing it to the rear wall with, and these are the tech screws, self-drilling. Once that's in place, I'm going to make the side panels. These are to hold the front up, and also it acts as a bit of a splashback to my sink unit and hob unit. I'm going to make these out of 1/2 inch MDF, or you can use ply. This is just what I had over in the garage. And then I'm going to cover the outside edge in actual carpet and the inside edge in a vinyl. That way it will act as a splashback and it's easy to keep clean. Again, I give it a good coat of paint just to seal the wood and then sand it down again. These are self-adhesive tiles I got from a local DIY shop, and they just stick on. I'm using a bit of 15mm aluminium flat bar. This will go on the facing edge of the side panels, and this will cover the ends of the carpet and the vinyl. This gives it a nice neat finish, and it also again matches the theme of other parts of my van. After that's cut, then I go back to the carpet, same principle as before. Smooth it down with a roller or a flat bladed scraper just to get any air bubbles out, make it nice and smooth. Trim it off with a utility knife, and then I can fit the aluminium trim. I'm going to stick the aluminium trim on again because I don't want screw heads showing. Second panel is exactly the same as the first one. They should be identical, and again installing the flat bar. I'll leave the adhesive to go off overnight, and then the next morning I just reinstated them. I'm putting 2 screws through the top, through the cabinet, and the bottom I'm using a bit of silicone sealant just to hold them in place. As you can see, it looks a right professional finish. Now the trim's all on, and I've just got to fix a couple of catches on the inside just to hold the doors closed. That's it for this one. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, I've got many other videos to come.